You know, at this point, there's this thing on about Palestine. I'll tell you something. No matter what kind of psychological abuse comes down on me if I say the wrong thing, I mean, what do I have to lose about this fucking getting called a Jewish Nazi all the time? Yo, I mean, the real reason, if you read the Natasha's, you read the one book he was going out of print, I mean, there's other books on it, but no, there's only really one where someone did a serious thing. You know, the fact that there's that many. I mean, when I say, I mean, you're talking picture age of eighth grade, 13, 13, 14, or whatever the grade you're in. Then they, these are these are there's the market is actually for they're going after. Let me say something. They're going after specifically in this global organized crime. They're going after specifically, white girls in Eastern Europe because there's a market for them in Israel. And the thing there is though, because it's like a Middle East. No matter what else is going on there, I mean, it is a Middle Eastern country. In fact, the Jews and Muslims are off. They have a segregated thing. Palestinians barbed wire. The fact is, it's a Middle Eastern country. Everyone's in the Middle East there. There's a major market for young, really young, 13-year-old, Snow White girls from Eastern Europe. There is. I mean, because that's the other. And the thing is, the reason why, I mean, that it is the reason, though, of course it's the reason why no one's to know. For instance, we made those videos where they explain the fact of, why Russia's, such, why they so friendly with so many, Middle Eastern governments, who hate America. Well, they sit around, the leaders, sit and they hate together, against America and Israel. But the point is, whatever people, because we can have an ally called Israel without, I don't know what people are so afraid of, the wave of anti-Semitism in Europe, or Russia's gonna come here, that right, it's no, I think it's just silent, that they don't say anything about a global sex trade in little girls. And these are really, I'm saying, this is what the economy got wrecked, over there. It got wrecked everywhere. But I mean, picture it. Some of the stories aren't like the things you see on the news here about not that it's not bad that there's all kinds of human trafficking and prostitution and everything, girls being taken advantage of. It's not to downplay that, but wait a minute. I mean, what's going on with this? Where they really run, it really is a kind of white slavery, and the thing is, they're filling a market that's in Israel. And but why is it here that you got the only people getting out information that people who are in like I said, David Duke? I mean, I don't really understand a guy there's a grand wizard in the KKK. Then he changed to something, wrote a book about race. What kind of person is that? But that's who brings up the issue of the Natashas. The thing is, it's such a crime against humanity. The reason it's silent here, I even asked at the news school, why are there no studies on the Natashas? I mentioned this in Loch Ness Apartment when I was drinking. I asked them, why are there no studies on the Natashas? They don't have time to answer a question like that, and they you get called a Jewish Nazi everywhere you go for being concerned. If one of our allies, it's a democratic country. There's nothing wrong. I mean, they say we could be allies with Israel. We can say that we stand with Israel and still say, look, the fact that there are this many teenage girls in sex slavery there, and that when they make daring escapes, they just, because their passports are taken, they end up charged with prostitution. That means the Israeli prison system, it's just corrupted but it would be corrupted. The global organized crime syndicate that's it's basically Israelis and Eastern European Jewish guys, some of which were in the Communist Party hierarchy, with the KGB, that kind of background, but they do also have, it's part of organized crime that has PhDs. One of the sort of big shots in it is this guy called the Brainy Don. They're it's a brand of Jewish organized crime that's the global level. And the thing is that's I guarantee why I said why are there no studies? I asked on them. I mean, it's not that you don't do studies on them. You study other kinds of human trafficking, but this is the one. These aren't people. We study human trafficking, people being who want to get into America from Latin America. There's it's so messed up. They get they'll ship themselves. Get the smuggler to bring them in. But I mean, This is like, teenage, like 13-year-old girls, 400,000 of them a year. The main destination is Israel, and the main global organized crime syndicate in it is doing it is Jews from Eastern Europe. I mean, the idea that that can't be brought up, like what, like in a graduate school or something, or like if you want to get the word out about it, that's, you're gonna get, even if you are of Jewish descent and feel like you have an obligation to, you're gonna get accused of being furthering anti-Semitism. Yo, no one needs to. There's so much anti-Semitism overseas. That's their problem. In Britain, there's tons of the London New Right, and tons of anti-Semites in there. You're not gonna increase the level of anti-Semitism or decrease it. I mean, it's just part of a bunch of things. A lot of people hate America, like a lot of people hate Israel. But this isn't. It's not going to change it if people started putting op-eds in the papers about these girls, because it's such a crime against humanity that the minute it was known to Americans and to like a lot of Jewish Americans that the main destination was Israel, and that this global organized crime ring is it's a ring. It's a major. It's the global level of organized crime. They're also involved in all kinds of other things like supplying terrorists with things. Like, they don't really care what they do. If Jews in America said it's our obligation to speak out about it, like this is part of what's causing anti-Semitism, and like we have an ally called Israel that Israel doesn't control America's policies. We could tell them whatever we want. We meet with Netanyahu, whoever's over there. Tell them that that's enough. You're gonna increase anti-Semitism to the point where there's gonna be constant terrorist attacks unless you address this in a way. Your court system and police are obviously in it. They're probably scared of. I mean, let me put it this way: people who are arresting, coming in and busting sex slavery and then having the girls, they're probably so frightened of the global organized crime level. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to speak out about it or do anything. The girls don't have any passports. The best they can hope is to get shipped back to poverty in Eastern Europe. I don't think that should be something that's kept a secret. You gotta keep it on the hush hush, or it's gonna increase anti-Semitism. I mean, that's just cowardly.